Welcome to another video on study abroad, and I have some good news for you. So finally, we had a good talk with the vendor, and we were able to finalize the industries, and that's why I'm able to create this video. So let me give you a brief idea about this team project. Okay, so let me just make this bigger, so easy for you to see it. Okay, so the team project, as you recall from the syllabus, is for 100 points is for paper and 75 points for presentation. And the paper should be 5 to 6 pages. Now it should be 5 to 6 pages, does not include cover page, title page, or reference. So, and it's 10 to 12 point, double spaced. That is for the paper, sorry. And then the presentation is going to be 10 to 12 minutes long, and use PowerPoint or Prezi for your presentation. And since this is an online class, you're going to be recording using Zoom or something similar. And towards the end of my presentation, I'll give you more tips about that. Also, you make sure you name your file like this. So INT3350 is this course, fall 19, and actually let me take this off. TP is team project, and okay, so this is how you're going to name your file, team letter. So if you're team A, you're going to name it as team A. The reason for that is much easier for me to download all the files and grade them properly. Okay, so all right, so how the team project is going to be, imagine that your team is running a company in the US and it is thinking of expanding into both South Korea and Taiwan. And your company operates in, pick one of the industries, and these are your choices: high tech, automotive, retail, entertainment, textile, sustainable agriculture. Sorry, kind of mistakes over here. um, the reason I want you to pick one of these industries is because we're going to be visiting these industries. So I want you to be aware of what's going on in these industries. And these industries will be assigned on a first come, first serve basis. So if you absolutely want to do high tech, make sure you email me as soon as you can. And also, when you email me, make sure you email it to me. You may want to give your first preference, second preference, and third preference. So this way, if the first one is not available, I can assign you the second one. And the last day to pick an industry is next Wednesday, midnight. And now, after you pick the industry, give your, so you have a company in an industry, so you give your company a name. Okay. So I'll give you an example. All right. Let me pick healthcare. Okay. The reason I'm picking healthcare is because it's not in this, so this way, it's not applicable to any of these industries. But so when I give you the example, I'm not giving away the answer, but I'm giving you what or how to approach this. So let's say I pick healthcare and I pick, there is a hospital, Texas Children's Hospital. So let me just say, I'll call it Houston Children's Hospital. So same thing, you pick an industry. So let's say you pick, let's say auto, and let's say instead of, so you're going to pick a company in auto. So instead of Chrysler, you could say Meisler or something like that. So, you're starting your own company, okay? So basically, you have a company which is already running in the US, and the job of your team is to expand in South Korea and Taiwan, okay? So since I came up with the Houston Children's Hospital, I'm gonna talk about that and how things apply. So structure of the paper / presentation is write / talk. So obviously when you're writing the paper, you're gonna write about it. And when you're doing your presentation, you're gonna talk about it. So basically the outline is you're gonna talk about or write about what it is that you're going to talk about. So uh, basically, that's like you're introducing who your team members are and what parts your team members are going to write about. So let's say you have, sorry, John, Mary, and Lisa in your team. So you're going to say that John will be doing the company analysis, Mary would be doing the competitive analysis, and so on and so forth. That's what the outline means, okay? Then the introduction is you're giving an introduction, which is a brief overview of what your company is about. So since I made up the Houston Children's Hospital, I'll say, this hospital caters specifically to children or to kids. And the services we provide is anything that is related to kids, can be related to their heart, lungs, bones, whatever it is, okay? All services related to, let's say, kids from age 0 to, I guess, 16, okay? So that's so same way, whatever company you have, you're going to introduce as to what the company does, okay? Then for the following part, you will talk about the opportunities and challenges that your company might face related to these. Sorry, I'm coughing. I have some allergies. So the first one is country analysis. Pestle analysis, pick just one factor that is most relevant to your company. So let me show you what pestle analysis looks like. Okay. So pestle is this right here. Let me move this. All right. As I mentioned, you want to do, okay, so I'm going to put it over here. So as I mentioned, you want to look at the things that are most applicable. And as I said, pick one from each of these. So you have to pick, so P stands for political, E is economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. So you're supposed to pick one from each of these. So you're talking about, let's say, political, okay? So what is most applicable to my hospital? I'm going to look at this list, and let's say labor law applies, more or is more applicable to my hospital. So I'm going to say, and again, I'm supposed to talk about the opportunities and challenges. So you research the labor law, and let's say you find out that it is very difficult to fire doctors or nurses. So you could say, that could be a challenge if you're running a hospital because of the strict labor laws. You cannot fire people easily. Okay. And moving on, let's say if I go under economic and I'm looking at this, and let's say disposable income is most applicable to me, to my company, because I'm providing services for children, for kids. So the parents need to have disposable income, and I look at the indicators, the country indicators. I find out that the disposable income is such and such, and which would be a good thing or a bad thing. Okay, again, I want you to do the analysis. Let's do one more. Social. Let's say social is health consciousness. If the citizens of the countries are more health conscious, as well as they want their kids to be healthy, and this would be a positive thing. So you want to do one from each of these, okay? So total, you're going to be doing 6 because you're doing one from each of these, all right? Moving on, then Porter's 5 forces. Again, as I mentioned, you're going to pick one that is most applicable. And anything that is positive for me, let's do this. I'll put a plus sign. Okay, so let's say I'm looking at these thread of new entrants. Okay, so I say this, okay, capital requirements. So what threat of new entrants means is how likely or how easy it is for a new company to do exactly what your company is doing. So I'm going to put plus, which is positive for me, because a hospital is expensive. It's not easy to start. It's not like a dollar store which anybody can start. So I'm putting plus, meaning it is positive for me, meaning it is difficult for other companies to copy or to do what I'm doing. Okay. Let's do one more, which is bargaining power of buyers. This means um, who has the power? Does the company have power, meaning they can charge whatever price they want, or do buyers have the power, meaning there is so much competition or there are so many companies offering similar services that if you start charging more money, then the customers can go somewhere else. Okay. So based on this price sensitivity, let's say I could, depending upon, so again, you have to do the research and find out, what the marketplace looks like. If the buyers are very price sensitive, then you may not be able to charge them whatever you want. Okay. So let's just say buyers are price sensitive and at the same time they have options, so you can give it a negative. Now let's, so you could do so on, and like you could go through the other things and see whether it's a positive thing for your company or a negative thing. All right, so you are going to just pick one out of these. Okay, so for threat of new entrants, you're going to pick one. For bargaining power of buyers, you're going to pick one. So similarly, you're picking one, so you're looking at five different things from one from each of these, okay, which are relevant to your company. Okay. Next one is entry mode. And again, you need to pick an entry mode that is most suitable for your company. And let's just say after doing research, I find out that I cannot start my own hospital in South Korea, so I have to do a joint venture, because that's what the government regulations are, with a local hospital. But in Taiwan, I can start my own hospital, so I will prefer this. Okay, because my goal is to start my own hospital. That's my preferred mode. But if that's not possible, I'm going to go to the second best option, which is joint venture with a local company. Right, and then the next one is Hofstede's cultural dimension model, and let's pick this because you already are familiar with this. So let's just pick this one over here. But you are supposed to look at each and every one of these. So these are 6 factors. So you are going to briefly explain what it is and also how it is applicable either to your customers, to your employees, to the community, whatever way, or how you market your services. So look at that. But just look at these aspects and use, just as applicability of that to at least one, which is to either your employees, to customers, to the community, okay? Or to how that would affect. So let's just say I pick this futuristic and long term. And let's say from the Hofstede index, you find out that both the countries, South Korea and Taiwan, are very high on long-term orientation. So when you're pitching services, so mine is Houston Children's Hospital. So I'm going to pitch my service or market my services as this is beneficial to the students to the children in the long run, because this is for the longevity and better health for the children. So you're looking at these cultural dimensions and how they apply to your company. Okay. And then finally, summarize the main points and end with a strong conclusion. By the way, anytime you're doing your presentations, or even writing papers, the most important aspects, the introduction and the conclusion. Because if the introduction is interesting, so people will be hooked and they would more likely to listen to your presentation or to read your paper. And similarly, end with a strong conclusion. So you want to summarize the key points and talk about what exactly you feel is the way your company is going to operate in those two countries. So some tips: writing style, do not write in essay format, use tables and or bullets. Okay. So again, you are going to be writing about how you're going to operate your company in South Korea and Taiwan. So you could even create a table as to how it applies. Also use proper headings, subheadings, highlight and underline things. That just makes it easier for people to understand. And there is something called Zeigarnik effect. You could look it up online, and what that says is people don't, in this day and age, don't read everything. They just focus on things that are in bullets or highlights. So you want to make sure that you also write things in that particular format, which is bullets, tables, much easier for people to kind of compare things and understand. And make sure you cover all the important points, whatever you're supposed to cover. And presentation style, so use Zoom or something similar for presentation. And talk to IT for technical issues. And for each and every team member needs to present the paper or make a presentation. Make sure you keep it between 10 to 12 minutes. So sorry, I'm a little sick. See, even though I'm sick, I'm making this video for you because I do realize that the semester is coming to an end. And we were just this morning, we were able to finalize the industry. So that's why I'm able to make it now. Anyway, so make sure each and every person in the team talks for roughly the same amount of time. And now you're thinking, how do we, points will be deducted, maybe deducted if it's shorter than 10 minutes or longer than 12 minutes. Now here's a tip for your presentation. So ideally, it would be good if you can create a Zoom meeting between you and your teammates and record that meeting and upload it on YouTube. Okay, that would be ideal. But say for whatever reason, all the teammates cannot be there at the same time, then you record, let's say, individuals and upload those individually on YouTube, but make sure you number them properly. So let's say John's video, you want me to watch John's video first. So you could say team project video 1, and then you want me to watch Lisa's and after that. So team project video 2, so on and so forth. So make sure you include all those links. Upload these on Blackboard, and the paper, I'll create a separate place for uploading paper, which will be through Turnitin. So make sure that you're not copying it from any place. I trust you, but we have to follow the policy, making sure that there's no plagiarism. So you're going to be submitting your paper through Turnitin, and if you go under course content, you will be able to see a link for that. And for presentation, again, it will be under course content, and it will clearly say team project presentation. The other one will say team project paper. So make sure you upload it over there. And okay, before I end this, see, in my normal classes, I give tips and tricks to my students to be better leaders, better managers. Okay. So let me give you something related to that. Now, if you want, many a times you come across situations where you want people to make decisions. but you don't know if you keep asking them, maybe they will decide against you. So how do you know what is the type of person, or how should you push them to make decisions? So, but again, by the way, whatever I'm telling you, use it ethically. Don't use it to manipulate people, but use it ethically. So the way people talk, that's how people think, and that's how they make decisions. So the people that usually talk slowly, um, that doesn't mean they are slow or they are not that smart. It just means that's how they process things, that's how they think, and that's how they do things. So the people that talk slow, you don't want to push them for decision. Instead, you want to give them lots of information, because they are more likely to be thorough, they're more likely to look at lots of information and then decide. But if you were to push them, then they may decide against you. Okay, so people that talk slowly, um, and so they are less likely to make decisions fast. On the other extreme is people that talk fast, and they are like always, wearing flashy clothes, and always in a hurry, and they want the quick summary. For them, start with the end. Say, this is what the goal is of this project, and I don't want to take too much of your time. Let me give you a brief overview, and give them details only if they ask. Okay. Um, so you have to understand people's decision-making style, and based on that, present them information. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in future videos. All right, and I'm excited for the South Korea and Taiwan trip. We should be able to finalize them very, very soon. We are almost there, and we'll provide you more details. All right, bye.